Hi, welcome back to Wavra Farms and Nursery. I'm Diane, and this is part 2 of our mini series on terrariums. So today we're going to talk about the closed lid terrarium and basically the general planting purposes of this. So kind of like with the terrarium that I did earlier, the open terrarium, we want to make sure that the light requirements are similar for all of our, I got a bee in my hair, similar for all of our plants here. And that they all will take the high moisture. So these ones will all work really well in the terrarium. As I said earlier, I started planting these because I had problems with a cat that was always in my space. So this way I could have plants again in my house. So it's really important for drainage in your terrarium, especially when they're closed lid, because this is something that you don't technically really ever water. I mean, it pretty much takes care of itself. So we want to make sure we put some drainage stones in the bottom. And the purpose of these drainage stones is to hold some excess moisture and then to release them as needed. So it's really important that we get the basics down when building the terrarium. We also want to make sure that we add some really good potting soil. This is actually a terrarium potting soil that's made by Syndicate. I really like this one for my closed lid terrariums because it's really rich in this bark material, which tends to hold the moisture, but yet drain quite well at the same time. So it kind of solves two purposes. It's going to hold the moisture because it's kind of like a compost, but then again, it doesn't keep my plants too wet. So I just kind of layered my rocks in the bottom with my little bit of soil on the top. So I picked out these plants today. I kind of set this up because I like to play with things kind of before we get started. So the first one I'm going to put in is a little parlor palm. Now, as you know, parlor palms get quite huge. This is just a little baby one. He's going to be quite nice sitting in here. And I'm just going to kind of wiggle him down in to get to the soil level that I want. So he's going to basically sit all the way down inside this terrarium. And not to worry because we'll add more dirt to kind of hold him up and some rocks as well. Next, I'm going to add this little Phytonia. As we talked about earlier, Phytonias are very slow growers, so they're perfect for a terrarium. They're not going to tend to grow too fast. Again, I'm going to stick this down here in the bottom, and I'm going to make sure that I turn it so that when I put the lid on, this little terrarium is going to look good from all angles. And then this is a new little plant that I found. This is called a waffle plant. I thought he was kind of fun. He's purple on the bottom side, green on the top. Just makes it really nice, adds a little bit of texture to this. Again, placement is very important. I want to make sure that when I put the dome back on, everything's going to fit inside. But yet again, it's going to be full. And remember, I'm not going to open this. If I do open this, or somebody does open it, what happens is your plants aren't used to being without the high humidity. So they tend to wilt rather quickly. So if you need to do any maintenance, you want to take it off quickly and then make sure that you put it on fairly quickly afterwards. You don't want to leave this lid off. It just will not handle having any change. So we're just going to pack those in there like that. And then I kind of like these three little mushrooms to add a little pop of color over here. So I think I'm going to put some more dirt in first. And then I'm going to mound it up with a few little rocks. I like to top dress. I think the white rocks just look really stunning. I'm really partial to that. And it just adds a nice little element. It keeps it nice and clean looking, kind of to tuck these in. And then these little mushrooms will really tend to pop. So I'm going to go all the way around so that I carry this white rock look all the way through the back side of this terrarium. And it's also going to add some support to my plants. So then now I can easily nestle my little mushrooms in, kind of tucked underneath. And you can always take a hot glue gun wire onto like your little mushrooms just so that they do tend to stay standing a little more upright if you have trouble with it. I'm going to stick a little bench in here for this fairy and just kind of stick her in so she's kind of hidden. Remember, she's kind of our hidden little gem. And then carefully place a little ladybug kind of at her feet. Make sure that you clean off this rim. You don't want to have any rocks on here as you put the dome on top. And then I'm going to carefully put my dome on top to seal it up. When I water, I'm just going to go through here. The first time I will water gently around each of these plants. And you're going to want no more than probably like a half a cup of water in this whole little planter. Remember, whatever you put in this, it's not going to drain out. It's going to come up and it's going to be the evaporation effect. Some days it's going to be raining inside your terrarium. The glass is all going to be steamed up. And as all those water droplets collect on the inside of the glass, they're going to drop back down onto your plants and water it naturally. Thanks for watching and happy gardening.